Welcome. How can I help you? Yes, we do repair services here. What are you looking to get fixed? GameCube? Sure, let me just take down some information. What is your first and last name? And then GameCube you said, and then have you used it recently or has it been sitting? Okay, so you got it from a friend, not sure if it's broken. Well, I can take a look like I said and then show you how you can check to make sure it's working properly. Do you have any games with you? So we can use those to test it out, and then I can also clean the discs for you. Did you bring a controller? Perfect. Alright. Then let's see. Let's start with looking at the games then. Thank you very much. Alright, so 3 games, and these are all from your friend, or are they from childhood? Okay. Yeah, so let's take a look. I do want to make sure it's maybe not a game issue. Sometimes if there's really bad scratches or erosion, they won't work. So the first game here is Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. And yeah, this is a really good game. Time passes, the pages turn, and a new chapter unfolds in an unfamiliar land. Get ready for a 2-dimensional role-playing adventure for the ages as Mario returns to paper form to discover a mystery that sleeps behind an ancient legendary portal called the 1,000-Year Door. The quest is long, the dangers many, and this time Mario will have to make full use of his papery qualities just to survive. And I don't see the disc here. Is it in? It's in the GameCube. Alright, I can take that for you. Thank you. Okay. So I'm just having a quick look. The front looks perfectly fine. And the back actually looks perfect. I'm just going to dust it a little bit. And I don't see any erosion, which is good. So if you were to ever clean games yourself, make sure you always use a clean, soft cloth. No paper towels, nothing that is rough. And then we here at the shop recommend only using water, so don't use any kind of window cleaner or abrasive spray. Yeah, this one is fine. Okay. And then, actually maybe we will hand this back to you. We'll test this one with the GameCube. And then, just so you know too, we do have a professional disc cleaner machine here, and that's more for really bad discs, and I don't think that one needs it at all, so we'll check out the other ones. And if any of the other ones do need it, it would only cost $1. So Mario Kart Double Dash, another great one. Your friend had really good taste. Take all the crazy action of the celebrated Mario Kart series and multiply it by 2. In Mario Kart Double Dash, each kart holds 2 racers that can switch places at any time. So choose from a huge cast of favorites and pair them up any way you see fit. let's look at this disc. This one also looks really good. So I'm just going to dust again. Now if I were cleaning with water, you want to clean from the center of the disc out to the edge. So you would dampen your cloth with water and then just swipe like this. So you never want to go in circles all around it. So just for future reference. And then you would just let it sit for a few minutes to dry. And I would recommend just cleaning your discs when you notice they're dirty or if they end up sitting for a long time, but I'm assuming you want to play these games. Yeah. So then you should be fine for a while. And then Zelda Twilight Princess, another fantastic game. Now, have you ever played any of these? Okay, yeah, they're all very good. The biggest Zelda adventure of all time. Take up arms against the dark creatures infesting your homeland as you explore a vast and dangerous world. Learn hidden skills like the Helm Splitter and the Mortal Draw as you wield sword and shield against countless foes. Use heightened senses to search for clues as a sacred wolf when unnatural twilight blankets hide. So let's take a look at the Twilight Princess disc. Also in great condition, so your friend must have really taken care of his games. I'm just gonna dust this again. Bit of dust. It may have been sitting, but again, it looks very, very clean, and it looks like it hasn't been used much either, so you shouldn't have any issues with it long term. Then I will give you these back. There you go. And see your controller here, so let me just unwrap it. It's just a little dusty, so I'm just gonna gently wipe it for you. And these you don't have to be as gentle with when you're cleaning. You can use a disinfecting wipe, just a regular cleaning wipe, or even just a nice cloth. And let me try these buttons. Everything looks good. We do fix buttons though if you were to ever have an issue. Okay? Alright, and now I can take your GameCube. Alright, thank you. So let me take a look. So everything visually looks fine. I don't see any dents or anything of concern yet. There is a little bit of dust, so I can take a look at that. And I see you have a Game Boy player on the bottom. Do you know what that is? Okay, yeah, I can show you what that is then. And we can test that and make sure it works. So I'm first just looking at the ports back here, making sure they're not dusty or dirty. So let me get my cloth. Let's see. Do you see a little dust? And honestly, that can be a problem sometimes. Or it could be your cords are just old, so that looks a little better. And now I'm going to check the left and right side of the GameCube. Just checking to see if the fan ports look clogged. And this one looks good. Let's check the other one. This one looks good too. So basically, if there was a lot of dust and grime on the sides, it would definitely need to be cleaned. Basically, the GameCube would not be cooling effectively when you use it, and that could cause problems. So I think that looks good. And now if using the different cords and just cleaning the ports didn't do it, we do have other options. So it could be an optical drive malfunction, or it could even be motherboard failure, which I'm hoping it's not either of those things. I do think this GameCube looks well taken care of, and typically the ones that have those issues do not look like this. And then just so you know, it's these two cords in the back. So it's pretty easy to plug in. And these are brand new cords, so we shouldn't have an issue. And then if your GameCube were to ever turn on, but you don't have a picture appearing on the screen, it could be a dirty laser lens, which is right inside here. And if that's the case, never touch it. And if you think it's smudged, you could either gently use a Q-tip to clean it with rubbing alcohol, just a very little bit of it. Or if you don't feel comfortable, you can bring it in. Alright, so first things first, we turned on the TV, and now I'm just going to click the power button. You see the intro screens, which is a good sign, and then the game introduction story should start. And we don't have a memory card inserted, and that's fine. So we're just gonna do this, since we're just testing it out. And let's see. Perfect. Yes. So I'm just gonna start it off and make sure everything seems like it's working properly. Okay, mail call. And I love this game, it's one of my favorites. Let's see what Luigi gets. Hey bro, check it out. A letter from Princess Peach arrived for you. I'll just read it to you. How's that sound? Now, let's see here. Hello there, Mario. I'm now on holiday, traveling in the Mushroom Kingdom. In my travels, I came into possession of a mystical map, a treasure map, actually. It was inside a box I got from an old merchant in a town called Rogueport. But since it would be too difficult for me to try to go find treasure all by myself, I thought you could help me hunt for it. You will, of course, won't you? I've included a map with this letter, so please bring it with you when you come. I'll meet you at Rogueport. That means you must come. Peach. What do you know? It's true. There's a weather old map in here with the letter. Check it out. Alright, and here we go. Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door. And would you like me to keep playing for a moment just to make sure there's no issues? Okay. Play for a few more moments and then we will test out the Game Boy player. Prologue, a rogue's welcome. You see, will arrive shortly. Please prepare to disembark. And now, obviously, this is the start of the game. I must apologize, sir. Our arrival was delayed just a bit by rough weather. Are you quite sure you want to disembark here? I did tell you all the sordid tales about Rogueport on our way here, did I not? What's that? I'm sorry. You say there's a princess waiting here for you? Is that so? Of course, sir. Well, if that's what you think, then I won't stop you. But, you be careful, sir. Don't say I didn't warn you. And now this is the beginning where we can actually start playing, so we can go around and talk to people. We can save here when we want to save. And I will say this is a very funny game, so I think this is all we have to do for this. So let's turn it off and test the Game Boy player. And now with the Game Boy player, so I'm glad you brought this piece. So yeah, if I recall correctly, we have to insert this disc. Insert the disc like I just did, and then just take a game. I'm using Pokemon Fire Red, and you're just going to insert it right on the bottom of the GameCube in the GameCube player, which as you can see you already have it attached. It goes upside down. And then we can test it out. And there we go. So this is kind of the screen that you will see. And you'll see the Game Boy game starting in the middle. And I think you can customize, like if you want a background that's black or another color, we can kind of look. But here is Fire Red. And let's just press start. And obviously the graphics are what they are. So let's just continue. I think that this looks like it's just an old save, but nothing really started. So just to recap. So here we go. And this looks like it is working fine. Let's see. So we're right at the beginning of the game in Pallet Town. And what you're going to do is start walking up here. And I actually haven't played this one for a while, but it was one of my favorites when I was younger. Anyways, if you're not familiar with Pokemon games, you're going to encounter several of them in the wild, in the grass, and it looks like we chose Charmander as our starting Pokemon in the save file, but I'll just demonstrate what it would be like to battle actually. So let's see. W scratch. And will you scratch again? When you start off, you don't have a powerful Pokemon yet, but that's the object of the game. To get a whole collection of Pokemon and get them really powerful. So I'm going to now turn this off. I think it's working great. So it seems like everything is now working properly. And I'm just going to actually give you the new GameCube chords. So you have them. and I'm gonna give them free of charge as well, so no worries about payment. And do you have any questions about the GameCube? Anything I forgot to show you? Alright, so I just have a receipt here for you, and then our number is on the bottom, and my name. Just feel free to give us a call if you have any questions. And then we actually have a game store down the street, and they're always getting in new GameCube games, retro games. So if you're looking for anything in particular, you can check it out. And you can mention that you had your GameCube serviced here. So call us for any issues, and I'm glad everything worked out today. So enjoy your GameCube, and hopefully I'll see you again soon. I can help the next customer right here. Hi, how are you today? Doing well, thank you. And what can I assist you with? Okay, so a few products not working. I can definitely take a look. And what are the products? Okay, let me just write them down. So a Game Boy Color, and then SNES. Okay. And what's the problem with the Game Boy? Okay. And then what about the SNES? Yeah, I can definitely take a look. And then any games, anything else? Okay, so 3 SNES games. And what's wrong? Okay, so RPG is not working. And then, okay, Kirby and Turtles. Both you think just need cleaned? Okay. And then GoldenEye, you said just needs cleaned. Okay. So I will start off looking at your Game Boy. So if you just want to hand it to me. And there's a game inside. Is the game working? It's stuck on the logo screen. Alright, so yeah, I can take a look. Let me first just take a look at the actual Game Boy. Make sure everything looks good. So the first thing I'm going to do is just check all of the buttons. A and B is good. Select and start is good. D-pad is good. So, no problems there. And then let's check the back. Are these new batteries? So you did try to replace them. These out for a minute because sometimes there is battery erosion, but I don't see any, so yeah, none in here. This looks like it is very taken care of, which is good. So I'm gonna check the display and the sound. What is this game? Actually, let me see. Okay, Link's Awakening. And then are you familiar with the Game Boy Color? Okay, bringing this in for a friend. Alright, so you're just going to want to hit the on button right here. And then you'll see the Game Boy logo pop up. Now, let's see. It doesn't look like this game is working. I think you're correct. I did hear the sound come on, which is good. But if you notice, it is stuck on this screen. And now sometimes this will work. But not always if there is an internal issue. So let's see. So that did do the trick. Now the game is playing. I'm just going to get to the main screen here and make sure everything's working as it should. So it doesn't look like it's actually letting you play. Yeah, there might actually be an internal issue with this game. I've never seen something like this before. Alright, well, I'm not going to try to waste our time. So I will get you a new copy. But just so you know, in case there is an issue in the future, make sure the game always fully clicks in to the Game Boy. So when you place it in, you should hear a click sound, just like that. And when did you purchase this game? Last month? Okay, and do you happen to have a receipt? Yeah, that's no problem. So here at the Nintendo Service Desk, we will actually replace games if they were recently purchased and are defective. So I will do that for this. And I'm just going to write a note here so I remember. And I will let tech support know that your Link's Awakening is not working. And they will send you a new copy for free. So what is your first and last name? Okay, and then home address. And then just your phone number. Okay. So we'll contact you once your new game is in, unless you'd like it shipped. You'll just pick it up. Okay. It should only be about a week or so. And then in regards to the buttons, just so you know, if they get sticky, you can clean them. I can actually give you a button repair guide here. You can take that with you. And that's just in case you ever need to look at the buttons yourself, can't come in. It's kind of more quick fixes for that issue. And then if there's any other issues with the Game Boy, you can always bring it in and we can look at it further. Okay? But it looks fine. So I'll hand you that back. And then I guess we'll look at the SNES games first. Let's look at the games and then we'll look at the console. So if you can just hand me the games. Wonderful. And yeah, I'll take the N64 as well. Perfect. Just have a look at all of these. So I know you said this one potentially not working. Okay, yeah, I see that on my note. So I'm gonna just gently dust all of these for you. Just kind of clean them up. It's complimentary here. And we don't have anybody else waiting in line, so I don't mind. So I'm just gonna dust. And yeah, the sticker looks great on this one. And this is a wonderful game. Yeah, one of my favorites. Okay, so that looks good. And then, have these all recently been purchased? Okay. This one. So in regards to cleaning this part of the cartridges, there are a few options. So the first option is using an air duster. Do you know what that is? Yeah, so you can kind of just put it up against here, just not too far away from it, and then all of the dust should come right out. So this is Kirby Superstar, and you said this is fine. Okay. So yeah, all of the dust should come right out. Or you can use rubbing alcohol. So rubbing alcohol will clean it really good and not damage anything. So the copper metal contacts on the bottom of the circuit board are the part you need to clean. So let me actually just give you an example. So you would just dampen a cotton swab with alcohol and just let it soak for a second. And then all you're going to do is just insert it right in there and just run it along. And then trust me, you'll see how dirty the cotton swab gets. Even if you take care of them, these games get dusty. And then you would just let it air dry when you're done. This one looks in good condition too. So, two options. And then the third option is having us professionally clean it. So, we can actually unscrew all of the cartridges to look at the circuit board inside and really deep clean it and just get it looking brand new. So good for games that are really having trouble working too, because they likely just need cleaned. So, what are you thinking? Do you want any of these cleaned professionally? Because I can do it right now if you want and just do the alcohol, or I can open them up. But with that, I would obviously just have to get them to you later this week. You want to do that? Okay. So are you thinking for all of them? Okay. And then obviously we will check Super Mario RPG next. So a deep cleaning for all games. And that's just 99 cents each. So that would be $4. So very inexpensive. And then, yeah, just a reminder, your game replacement is free for Link's Awakening. Okay. So now let's look at that SNES. Here it is. And you said, what was the issue? Console wouldn't turn on and no sound. Okay. And did you try any troubleshooting steps? Okay. And then any physical issues that you noticed? Okay, so it wasn't dropped. Let's see, just checking the I am newer to this job, so I just want to make sure I'm following the right steps. Okay. So we'll look at... Okay, we'll look at that. Yeah, so I do have a TV right here. And so I will plug it in and make sure the audio cable is working, and then the power cable. Let's see here. Okay. So yeah, AV cord, power cord. And did you try different outlets in your home? Other things were working fine. Okay. And then you tried other games. Okay, so it's not the game. Well, then I think at this point I'm going to test it out. So let's plug it in. Let's plug it in with the cord that you brought. And then after that I'll get one from here and see if yours is defective. Okay, perfect. And then are you familiar with the SNES, or is this new for you? Okay. So you just want to plug this in right here on the back. And then this right here. And then always just make sure they are snug. Okay, the power light is not coming on, so not a good sign. That makes me think the power cord is not working. So I am going to try mine. So this one is mine. Get in here. Okay, yep. So I think you just had a cord issue. There's the red button. Just so you know, since you said you're not as familiar, this is the reset button. Just clicks up and down. And then this is the eject button that ejects the game. And let me actually show you. So here's the game, and you're just going to insert it like that. And hopefully we won't have any issues now that we changed the power cord. And before we test it out, just a few notes I wanted to tell you. So if you ever have the issue that the console starts, but the game does not load, that typically means the game needs to be cleaned. So you can follow the steps I already showed you, or bring it in. And this is very tangled, so just give me a moment. And then if you ever have the issue of a controller not working, that either means it needs replaced, or there's a broken controller port in the SNES. And we can look at that too if you bring it in. I'm trying to think what else could happen. Oh, if your game loses save data, you would likely need to replace the battery, but doing this will not restore your saves, just so you know, but it would allow you to save games in the future. So just a few tips, since I see those common problems a lot here. Now I'm just going to plug in the controller in the front, there, and then obviously you could put a second one. And let's test it out. And then before we try, I have two more things I wanted to note. You want to make sure all of your cables are in correctly. So on the back of your TV, you'll see a red, yellow, and white AV jack. So you just want to make sure they're in their correct slots. And then obviously your power cord should be plugged into the wall. And then you should be good to go. Alright, so now let's try it out. And there you go. Turns on right away. So here it goes. So right off the bat you can see here the graphics are really amazing. So a wonderful console. And I'll just click on this first save file. Is that okay? Okay. just going to play for a moment just to make sure it actually works properly. Okay, so let's just make sure. So now looks good. So he's moving around. And let's just see. Just want to make sure, like I said, everything's working. Let's go over here. And did you actually ever play this? Okay, so yeah, it just stopped working. Okay. Alright, so Toad says, hey, I thought the princess was here with you, Mario. So where is she? Mario, what's with the silent treatment? You're not telling me something. It's Bowser again, isn't it? Oh no, here we go again. Mario, would you please bring her back, like you always do? Alright, so everything looks fine here. Then I'm just going to restart it. I want to click on one of the other save files. And kind of the same thing, make sure it looks like it's working. So let's just do the second one. Okay. So moving around, let's go out here. Yep, looks good. What else? It was that reptile. He's the one who stole my wallet, but I let him get away. Alright, so everything looks like it's working properly. I'm going to now just power off the console. So let me see here. I know we usually charge, I think, $10 for the power cords, but I'm going to give it to you for $5, just for the inconvenience and since you've had multiple issues today. So anything else you need? Okay, so I have your name, your phone number, your address for the shipped game. We'll tell you when your games are done being cleaned. And then I'm just going to give you a receipt. So, just outline all of that. And then what is the date again? June 1st, 1999. Okay. And then our phone number is right here if you need to reach us. But we'll be in touch soon regarding your cleaned games once they're all set. So here is your receipt. There you go. And thank you so much for coming in. We really appreciate your business here at Nintendo, and if you ever need support again, please come in Monday through Friday. We are open 9 to 5. Alright, well, take care, and I'll see you again soon. Hi, how are you today? I'm well, thank you. How can I help you? Handheld consoles? Sure, so something like a Switch Lite? Something older? Okay, do you have any clue what you're looking for, or are you more so looking for suggestions? Suggestions? Okay. Yeah, let me see what we have right now. I know we do have some Game Boys. and then I think a few Nintendo DS's. Yeah, there were some just traded in. So it looks like we have some Game Boy Colors, Game Boy Pocket, and then the DS's. So I can grab them if that works. Okay. So I'll show them to you and then show you the games as well. So I brought everything out, and first I thought I'd show you the Game Boy items if that works. Okay. So let me start with the Game Boy Pocket. So this Game Boy is pretty beat up, not in great condition. So I'll start by saying that I could sell this for $10 to $15 if you were interested. And here is the front of it. So it is silver. And you can see it's not in the best condition. It was cleaned on the front. I think there were some stickers. The buttons work. And let's see on the side. Volume works. Yeah, everything works. The only thing I will say is the back is kind of beat up too. But again, it still works. The battery cover is here. So if you're interested in just a Game Boy Pocket, we do have that. Now, we do have two Game Boy Colors. So, are you interested in a certain color? Okay. So first I'll show you a purple one we have. And this one I would say is kind of like the Game Boy Pocket, where it's not in the best condition, but it's still in working condition. So here is the front, and again, buttons work. The only other thing I'll say is the back battery cover is missing. So I'll try to find a replacement in the back if you were interested in purchasing this one. And I could give this to you for, again, $15. So, there's your purple. And it does come with this case, if you're interested. See, we have a few games. And these can all be purchased separately, so you don't have to purchase this specific game. This is Pokemon Pinball. Again, this battery cover is missing, but I can try to find one. And this is a good collector's game to have. And it does work. I did forget to mention that all of our games work. Everything's been tested. Of course, if you have any issues, we do have a 30-day return policy. So you don't have to worry about that. And are you a Pokemon fan? Okay. I do have some items that you might be interested in that. And now on to the next Game Boy. Let me set these aside. So this is the one that's in the best condition. This was actually my Game Boy Color that I am selling, so you have this cute case and a nice pocket on the back, and of course you have your slots for games. So let me show you the Game Boy. And this is your lime green. And it's in good condition. So here's the front. All buttons sides are in good condition, no sticking. And I'll actually put a game in a minute so I can show you what it looks like. You have your battery area, and I've taken good care of this for many years, so I know that this one will hopefully last a long time. So let's look at some games and see what we can test out. And by the way, since this one is in a better condition, I'll probably sell it for about $50. Take out these games. Okay. Now we do have other Game Boy games in store, but these are just the few that I'm selling with this Game Boy. But obviously you can mix and match if you'd like. So let's see, I guess I will pop one in. Well, first let me show you what games there are. So we have Link's Awakening. And the sticker is pretty good. Some dirt on the front, which I can probably get off. And then the back is good. Then Pokemon Blue. And Pokemon Blue has some discoloration at the top. Some little tears right there, but otherwise in good condition, but not perfect. And then unfortunately this one is not in good condition. Let's just say this was my sister's game and she did not take care of things. So this is Pokemon Yellow. I will give this to you at a very discounted price because of the label, but it is working perfectly, so you can still play. And then, of course, Pokemon Red. The label is a little bit dirty, but again, I can probably clean it for you. Working condition, and my favorite. So, a good one to have. So let's pop this in and show you what it would look like if you were to play. Starting up, and there you go. I know it's very high quality graphics, but anyways, I just wanted to show you that it's in working condition. So a good option if you wanted to purchase a Game Boy. So I told you the price of the Game Boy. Red I would give you for $40. It's probably the most valuable. Blue probably $20. Yellow probably $5 to $10. And then Link's Awakening around $20. Okay. So that's everything for Game Boy Colors. So next I will show you our DS options. So again, we have a nice case here if you would be interested. Now as of right now, we only have 2 DS's in stock. We did just sell a 3DS and a DS XL. So if you were to be interested, they do come in the store pretty often, so I could keep an eye out for you. But let me show you these first. So we'll start with the DS Lite, and this is going for $50. So edition. Now this one is good if you want to play Game Boy Advance games on it, because you can play DS games right up here. There's your slot, Indiana Jones. Or down here is where you can just pop this out and insert your Game Boy Advance game. So I would say if you want to do that, then go with this one. So 50 and then the DSi. So this goes for about 40, and this is just for DS games. Now this has a voice editor and a camera, although I wouldn't say in today's day you would particularly use them. I think the picture and graphics is a little bit better than that one, so something to keep in mind. And you have a pen back here for the touchscreen, which I'll show you in a moment. Now, neither of these are in particularly the best condition, but they both work. I actually forgot to show you the pen on this one is underneath, just so you know. So then I have a few games to show you. We do have several, but just in the interest of time, I grabbed just 2 for now. So one is Kingdom Hearts. So this was donated with the bundle, and you can see it right there. Comes with the manual, and it actually also comes with a bonus game as well, just another Kingdom Hearts game. So that would be included for free. And then we have one Pokemon game, which I wanted to show you, and that is Soul Silver. So there's the front, the back. So it does come with the manual. And then I will put the game in. So it just goes at the top with the power button. And let's see, the intro stuff is happening, and then here we go. So you can see it starting up, and you have 2 screens, which is different than the Game Boy Color. And everything is loading. Let's see. So I just started, and just bring you and show you the picture quality on this compared to the Game Boy. So see there, it's obviously a little bit better than the Game Boy Color. Now it's kind of hard to see, but there you are in your little town, and again you have 2 screens to work with, and your screens are backlit, which is of course very nice. So I'm just going to close this away, and then put the game away. So 2 options for DS. And now I will show you our Game Boy Advance that we have right now. So we actually had a few of the original Game Boy Advances, but again, they actually just sold. It's surprising, but Game Boys are very popular in store. So this is the Game Boy Advance SP. SP standing for special. And I actually love this Game Boy. I just love how compact it is. It's almost like a flip phone. And I remember when this came out, I just thought it was really cool. It's just the buttons. Now what's really nice about this is, again, there's a backlight. So let me walk you through the loose games we have. So this is Super Mario World, Super Mario Advance 2. This is Super Mario Brothers 3, Super Mario Advance 4. This is Metroid Zero Mission. And then one of my favorites, Yoshi's Island. I love this one. It's actually really cute to play on the Game Boy Advance. I'll show you that one. Then Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario Advance, Mario Kart, Super Circuit, and then Pokemon Fire Red. So another good Pokemon game for your collection. And again, the backlight is so nice. Turn down the volume so it's not loud. So here we go. You can turn the light on or off. I know it's kind of hard to tell right now. And there you go. You have your jump and back and forth. So I can't see anything to actually play this, but you can obviously see pretty good graphics. So let me turn this off. And then I do have a bag of actually random games. They're not anything special, but you can kind of go through them if you'd like. And they're 99 cents each. So I will set these aside for you. And then the boxed games. So Super Mario Advance, which I did show you before, but this is the boxed version. So comes with the game, of course. And then let me just show you. Of course, it's sealed in there. And then you have your little manual. So everything is brand new. Then we have Donkey Kong, which is a classic, of course. And this is the classic NES game. So you can see on the back some images. And then another classic, Pac-Man. And again, this is the classic game. And then lastly, Super Mario Bros. Again, the classic NES game for Game Boy Advance. So, a few other options. So I think that's it for now. Are you interested in purchasing anything? Okay, let me grab those items and we can price them out. Alright, so the DSi, $40. The Game Boy Advance SP, could sell that for $80. So a little bit more. Now you mentioned Fire Red, that is worth around $100 today. But I will give you a deal since you're buying multiple items and sell it for $70. And the Metroid game, that is actually worth around $70 these days, but I can give it for $50. Then Pac-Man is only $10. So let's add it up. $250. Perfect. I see you actually have $400 in credit. Would you like to use that today? Perfect. So I will just deduct the total from there, and I will email you the receipt if that works. Good. Alright, you're all set. Well, I'm really hoping you're going to enjoy the items you purchase. Like I said, we're always getting new things in, so feel free to stop by and I can show you the new items. And like I said, if you have any questions about the items you purchased, just give me a call. Alright? Well, happy gaming, and thanks so much for coming in today. Take care. Hello again. Welcome to the game shop. How have you been? I've been good, thank you. Have you played any good games lately? Nice. Yeah, I haven't played anything new, but I always have so many on my list. Are you looking for anything specific today? A Nintendo Entertainment System? Okay, great. Yeah, I think we did just get a few in stock, so let me check. And have you ever owned one? It's your first one? Okay. Well, I can give you an overview of the console, the controller, and also any games we have. I know we have quite a few. Are you looking for any in particular? Okay, so I'll just grab a few of the popular titles and we can go from there. And you said you've played the NES before, but it's been a while. Okay, so I can also give you a tutorial. I do have a TV set up here, so I can just pop a game in and show you how it works. And then just so you know, every console we have traded in, we do clean it, refurbish it if necessary, and we have a 1-year return policy if anything were to break. So it's definitely better to purchase through us versus another online store or any other method for the retro consoles, of course. So I'm going to grab the console and the games and we can get started. So why don't I show you the few buttons, tell you about what cords you would need, and then I'm also going to just dust it a little bit too. Alright, so the first thing you'll need to get this up and running is an AC adapter. So I'm just going to plug this into the wall, and then the other side goes into the back of the console. So it's this leftmost slot right here. Just gonna plug it in. Okay. And then you'll notice there is another plug, and that is the far right slot, and that is something called an RF switch, which I have connected to the TV. So I'll show you that in a few moments. And so with the actual console, again, you might think it would be heavy, but it's actually kind of light. And you have a few buttons. So let me show you up close. You have a power button right here. And then a reset button right here. And now you're probably thinking, where does the game go? So you actually just lift this up, and then in will go the game, which again I'll show you in a little bit. So this one is definitely one of our better NESs that we currently have. The others are really dirty or currently have some issues. So I know this one has been tested and is working properly. Let me just dust it a little bit for you. And then I'll also show you a controller. And we have 2 of them, which will come with this if you were to purchase it. Just gonna dust right here. And let me open this up again. Sometimes it gets kind of dusty in there, but this isn't that bad. Let me see. Yeah, that's not bad. And it even gets a little bit dusty in the slots here, which are for controllers, by the way. So it's always good to just keep it nice and clean. Looks much better. So I'll show you a controller. Alright, so you're going to plug it in right in the front, like I said, and you'll see a 1 or 2. You're going to put it in slot 1. Make sure you press firmly so that you know it's in all the way. Okay. Then here is the controller. So both of them are in good condition, I would say. And they are the original controllers. And I should also mention the AC adapter and the RF switch are the originals as well. So if they were to need replaced down the line, we can do that for you. So here's the controller. Let's test it out here. Should be working properly. So, very simple. You have your D-pad, your select button, your start button, and then your A and B button. So, not too much going on. But I actually like this controller. I think it just fits nicely in your hands for gameplay. I'm going to actually wipe this down a little bit too. Just to make sure it's super clean. Okay. And what else do I want to tell you? So before we actually through the games, a few common issues with the NES that I see often with people coming into the shop is a game not starting up or a flashing red light. So that can mean a few different things. Sometimes the pin connector is dusty, and if that's the case, we can clean that for you in store so you don't have to worry about it. Or you could also have a dusty game, which is very common. So you'll want to clean the game. Obviously, you can use something called an air duster to just get all that stuff out. You can also clean it with a cotton swab and rubbing alcohol. So there's multiple things you can do. Another thing I see happen is the game gets stuck inside, and that can be a few different things, but most commonly the springs are sometimes worn out that are inside the console, or the NES just isn't functioning properly. So no matter what it is, I always encourage people to bring in the console so I can just take a look. If you do it yourself, there's always a risk that you could damage something further, so just to be safe. So I'm going to set this aside now to show you a few games, and then we will pick one to test out. Okay. So like I said, I just grabbed a few popular ones, but we do have more as well if you're interested. So let's start with, I guess, Super Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt. Alright, so this is actually a 2-in-1 game. So Super Mario Brothers is the top game here. And this game is a must-have for an NES. So this game takes place in the Mushroom Kingdom, and there are 8 worlds with 4 different levels each. It's your typical side-scroller Mario game. An amazing soundtrack, of course, and it's just very nostalgic, very innovative for its time, and I think about that every time I pop it in. I mean, for any of these games, actually, they're just very impressive for the time. So you need to have it if you have an NES. Now, Duck Hunt, which is also a game you can play on here, is another very common NES game. And basically, you just shoot down ducks from the sky by pointing at the screen with your zapper, which we do have one in store. I can actually grab that for you if you choose to buy this game. And you do need that to play the game. So it's simple but fun. Next, I guess I'll tell you about Super Mario 2. And this is just an awesome 2D platforming game. So compared to its predecessor, this one definitely has improved graphics, music, levels, and gameplay. And I will say it's very challenging. There are some challenging obstacles in this game. And it's very different than other Super Mario games. It's kind of just like a different format. So of course another good one to have if you are a Mario fan. And then moving on to Super Mario 3. So by the time this game was released, everybody knew who Mario was. And he had a big following at that point. So here's the nice yellow label. And this is a fantastic Mario game. Really fun power-ups. Honestly, this game really still holds up today, in my opinion. And just another one you need to have in your collection. And these are all cleaned, wiped down, by the way, and in working condition. And then I grabbed this one just because it really is another classic for the NES, and that is Tetris. So if you never heard of Tetris, it is a puzzle game, and you control blocks like these by moving them around and flipping them to make lines. Very simple graphics. I think there were 2 different modes you can play. And this game is still very popular today. I know for a fact there are championships still held today, which is really cool. especially when you see younger people playing the game. It's always very impressive to see how good people are. So this game is definitely something meaningful to me. And this is The Legend of Zelda, and first thing you'll see is it's a very pretty gold game. And this was the very first Zelda game ever. So as a big Zelda fan, this is always displayed on my shelf at home. And this is very difficult, at least for me. There were not many clues given in this game. It was tricky to find items. Enemies were difficult. But it's iconic, and that being said, it is 100% needed for an NES collection. And the graphics were what they were for the time, but honestly, I think they got the job done and made this a wonderful start to the Zelda franchise. Okay, so do you mind if we test this one? Any preference? Okay. So let me move these ones out of the way. And let's see. Alright, we have the controller plugged in. We have the adapter. We have the RF cord. So now I'm just going to open this. And then pop in the game. And before I do that, also I wanted to mention, so this is where you would clean with a cotton swab. So I would recommend just wetting it with a little bit of the alcohol and moving it in and out vertically. And obviously let it air dry before you would play the game. And then this also gets really dusty. So even before playing any game, I would use your air duster and give it a good cleaning to get that dust out, or it might not work. So let's pop it in. And then once it's in, we can close this. And now let me get my TV. So now we are all set up. So hopefully it will work. And there you have it. So you'll just see this intro text. You have to kind of read it quickly. And this is nice because it kind of gives you an overview of what's to come. And now I'm just going to press the start button so we can try it out. And now you could have just hit start, by the way, but I wanted you to see that. So I'm going to register a name. Okay. And here we go. So here it is, and I know it looks very different than what you would see in a Zelda game today, for sure, but you can hear the classic music, and there is a little Link right in the middle. Alright, so it looks like we got our sword. Very exciting. Now let's see. Okay, so it is the B button. So let's fight a few enemies. just got a heart. Oh, let's get another one. Let's go over here. Some more enemies. So I'm sure you get the gist of it. Why don't we turn this off and pop in one of the Mario games? So, surprise, it's going to be Super Mario Brothers. And obviously, it's a classic. So jump is B on the controller. And as you can see, I am not good at all. But you get the gist. And I'm obviously not going to be in a speedrunning competition anytime soon. This game is very fun to just pop in, honestly, especially for a game night. And you can see that the graphics really aren't terrible. So I would recommend you pick it up. Alright, so what did you think of the NES? You'd like to purchase it? Alright, and what games do you want? All of them? Awesome. And I know you were looking for another game, right? Metroid. Okay, yeah, we don't have it in right now. But once we do, I can give you a call. Okay, and what is your phone number? I know you're a rewards member, so I'm gonna look you up. Your email. Okay. So I'm gonna give you a great deal since you're a very good customer here. How does $150 sound for everything? Perfect. I will have my colleague box everything up for you nicely for your drive home. And how will you be paying? Okay, perfect. Gift card. Wonderful. Let's see, it looks like this will cover the cost. You still have $25 left. And do you want me to email a receipt? Okay. Perfect. Well, you are all set. And since you picked up some Mario games today, I wanted to give you this complimentary keychain. So I hope you like it. There you go. And thanks so much for coming in. It was a pleasure helping you with the NES today. If you have any issues, please contact me. I'm here every day. And if you ever need anything else for any other consoles, games, just give us a call. We're constantly getting new inventory traded in, so we're always happy to help. Thanks so much, and hopefully I'll see you again soon.